Welcome to Be Her with Shalon. This is a space for women who are tired of fixing, forcing, and holding it all together. A space to slow down, regulate, and remember who you are beneath the role, the expectations, and the labels. We'll talk nervous system healing, identity, relationships, embodiment, and spiritual truth without bypassing and without pressure to perform. You're not broken. You're remembering who you are. Join me for today's episode of Be Her with Shalon. Well, welcome everybody. I am popping on here again because we are like mid-January and I don't know about you, but like I'm not feeling like doing all the things, right? January is like really a month to just decompress and regroup and all of those sorts of things. But because it's like New Year's is January 1st, everybody expects that it's the beginning of a new year and we need to like get going and getting things done and set these intentions and make these goals and do. And if you look outside, it's winter where I am. And that means that we're meant to be resting. We're meant to be recalibrating. We're meant to be going within and really just being with ourselves and preparing before springtime when it is time to take action and do the things, right? And it's not that we aren't, doing preparation and that kind of stuff, right? It's not that we're just like laying on the couch and waiting for winter to pass as much as sometimes I wish I could do that. It's also giving yourself permission to do that on days that you feel like you need to. And that's something that I have struggled with so much in my life. Like I have literally, just like lots of society, been programmed to believe that I am valued in my doingness and not my beingness and who I am as an individual, right? And so it's like I feel like I have to do more and do more and do more and do more and produce more and give more and everything like that. And then I forget that part of giving is also receiving, right? And to just be with yourself and to take time to rest and to take time to regroup. And we can really get caught up in the whole new year, new me thing that everybody has got going on. Everybody is like nose to the grind. I need to get everything together for the new year, but that is how we end up being burnt out by the time that the like springtime and everything actually comes around, right? That is how we end up being kind of resentful of like everything and other people. Like I know myself, I've been contacted by so many people about like, hey, are you starting a new workout routine? And hey, what are you doing for the new year? And hey, what are your goals? And hey, what about this? And hey, what about that? And hey. And it's like, just chill. Like take a minute, take a beat, and like let people just breathe. Like literally. And like don't get me wrong, I know that I'm starting like the 7-day reset in my group, the sacred reset, but it's my group's not about doing, it's about being, right? It's about being with yourself and recalibrating your system and connecting with your intuition and just like giving to yourself first so that you can give to the world around you from a filled cup is really what it is about. And that is something that, like I said, people have been programmed to just be valued in their giving and not their being. I know for myself personally, it can become very, very exhausting. And like I said, you become resentful of people. One thing that I did decide for 2026, like my goals, I guess you could say, they're not even really goals, but they're like intentions that I placed is like, that, yeah, I am going to give to myself first and foremost. And I am going to take time out for myself if I need it and not buy into the whole push that society has created in regards to like the new year and everything. And I am going to say no when it doesn't feel aligned. And I'm, you know what, if I'm not going to respond to messages for a couple days, I'm not responding to messages for a couple days, because like there's other things that I need to do, and I am my most important person in the world, because without me nothing else happens, nothing else gets done. My home, my business, my kids, the dog, all of the things, like that is up to me. And like, don't get me wrong, my daughter's 17. She's pretty self sufficient, but she still needs her mom, right? She still needs somebody there for her. And if I'm run down and worn out, well, nobody's happy. I know they have that saying where it's like happy wife, happy life, but I think it's more so like, for our home, it's like happy mom, happy home kind of thing. And I think that rings true, because in either aspects, right? Because we have so much to do. And when our divine feminine energy is like so depleted, nothing works well, right? And so I'm kind of inviting you to like just take this time out. We still have to work. We still have to do the things. I get it, because we still be lifing. Like, unless you are able to actually take, winter off and just do whatever you want, like, by all means, like, that's awesome for you, right? But it's just about giving yourself some time, especially after Christmas and all the festivities and everything else. Like, people get tired of peopling, and everybody's peopling meter is different. I have noticed everybody's peopling meter is different. And it's like, when it's tapped out, like, to honor that, right? When you can't actually be around people because it's like too much and it's too overwhelming and whatever else, to like honor that, right? And give yourself that time to just like to just be with yourself, um and not spend that time scrolling on social media, and not spend that time filling the void with just mindlessness, but to actually be with yourself and connect with yourself and be like, what am I maybe avoiding right now too? Like, to take that into consideration and be like, why do I feel this way? Like, what is really that underlying feeling and that underlying emotion that I'm not addressing right now? Why am I actually really tired? Because sometimes, like, when we're like tired and overwhelmed and all the things, it's not because of the one thing that happened, right? Like, hypothetically, with my dog. She's such a mess maker sometimes. Oh my god. And she can get into such shenanigans when I'm on my live. And so then I'm like, oh my gosh, she created this huge big mess. And I'm mad. Like, I'm mad, right? And it's not even really, it's not the dog's fault. It's not like, well, kind of, it is and it's not. Like, I guess it's my fault that she got into the things because I was irresponsible, right? And so in that case, it's like, who am I mad at? Well, at that point, I'm just mad at myself because I didn't take better precautions, right? And so it's like, what is really going on? What is really the emotions that are coming up with that? And sometimes just naming it and being like, yeah, this is what's going on. Or even like with my kids, sometimes like I can get super upset because it's more so just feeling unappreciated. I think as moms, sometimes we just feel unappreciated. It's like, I do all of these things and they go unseen. And sometimes it feels like you're just being taken for granted and unappreciated and everything else, right? And it's not just as mom, it's like lots of people in society and throughout your work or whatever else, right? And so it's just like that little bit of acknowledgement and the fact that it's like, okay, they do actually appreciate what I'm doing, or just like not getting the help that you're needing, like those kind of things. As being like a solo mom, like I am a woman show here. Like, I am the one who's doing all the things, okay? With my house, with with my work, with my business, with the podcast, with like all of it. Like it is up to me, right? And so that's why it is really, really important. And I've had come to realize that I really have to take care of myself. Um, because if I'm not able to do that, who else is going to, right? Um, and so yeah, to just honor how you're feeling right now. Like, yeah, like the sun has been out and it's been lovely like that. And I've been going outside and enjoying that as much as possible. Because do you know what? Going outside in nature is healing, it is medicine. It's what our soul really, really needs. And so when we're able to take advantage of that in the winter months, it doesn't make winter seem so like unbearable. I'm not a winter person. Not at all. Not a winter person. And so I've been trying to make peace with that more so and taking our puppy for walks and stuff because it's good for us. It's kind of funny because it's like people are like, oh, get a dog. You'll go outside more and you'll go for walks more and you'll da 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 da. And I was like, that is not true. Not with our puppy. Like she likes to snuggle on the couch and be warm and cozy and snuggled in the blankets. And she's a bit of a princess that way. But that's just kind of how our house is, right? But thankfully she likes walks way more now than she ever did before. But yeah, so like even my friend the other day, getting back to this like new year thing, she's like, well, what is your word for the year? And I was like, girl, no words. No words. I have no words for the year. I'm still trying to process 2025. And we are feeling through this energy still of 2025. We're still wrapping up the year of the snake, right? Like that is still in full force. So like there is a lot of karmic things and past life things and yeah, cycles that are being wrapped up now. So if you're feeling like I don't know about you, but I've been purging mentally, emotionally, physically, all the things, like just purging. And that's what we need to be doing right now. That's what we need to honor right now. And that's okay. If you don't feel like doing right now, that's okay. It's not the end of the world. Okay? Just that's what it's about, to just like connect with you and be with yourself and really honor what that is. Guilt free. Okay? That is the biggest part of my problem, is honoring things guilt free, because when I was growing up, there was no guilt free. It was a lot of guilt. A lot of guilt. Okay. I grew up on a dairy farm. There was no taking breaks. There was no asking for help. There was no like I can't do this or whatever else. It was figure it out and get it done. And if you weren't doing something, you better find something to do. Was basically how it was. So that's just the way I was raised. And I've come to learn that, like, I identified, okay, we're using that right now, identified as the worker child my whole life. And I am changing that. I am really working, I don't know if restructuring that and changing that and letting that identity go, that I have had to be the worker child my whole life. No, I don't want to be the worker child anymore. I like, well, not that I don't have to work, but you know what I'm saying? It is time for me to like release that identity, is what I have come to know, and to be able to know that it is safe to receive, that it is safe to soften, that it is safe to just be. And that is also what I want to gift to everybody else, as well, as I go on this journey, to just being with yourself, right? That's what the feminine needs. She needs softness. That is when she is her most creative. That is when she is really felt and appreciated and loved. And we have to do that for ourselves, right? We can't expect that from a partner all the time, even though it's nice to receive that from a partner. Not everybody has partners, and so it's really important to be able to give that to yourself, um so that you can just do the things, to be creative, to I was doing my hair and I was like, you know what? I need to post this podcast. I need to talk about this. I need to do these things. And so that's why I was like, this is what I'm doing right now. And because that's when I'm in my creative flow, right? That is when I'm doing my hair and makeup. I think I've said before, is when I'm in my creative flow, when I get my ideas. And that's what the feminine needs. And it doesn't mean when you're resting, it doesn't mean that you're just like sitting on the couch watching TV, or that you're sleeping or meditating or whatever it is. It's about doing something that's creative. So doing something that you love to do. Maybe it's dancing, maybe it's painting, maybe it's like watering your flowers, maybe it is playing with your animals, maybe like whatever it is, just to refill your cup, doing more things that bring you joy, right? That is what it's about, doing more things that bring you joy. And when you have been programmed your whole life that you are only valued for your doingness and not your beingness, it wreaks havoc on your nervous system when you're taking time out to just relax. And your body is like feeling unsafe, just sitting on the couch trying to be with yourself. That, like, it's like you're not allowed to take time out, and you're not allowed to just take care of yourself either. That's another thing. As women, we have been so programmed that we have to self-sacrifice and that our needs don't matter, right? Like, I've been taking care of people, I feel like, my whole life. And I'm sure there's lots of people who are like the eldest daughter, right? We can let go of that identity as well, of being the eldest daughter who has to take care of everybody and everything, right? Or maybe there's another part of that you play in your life. Like, really think about that. Is that an identity that you want to continue to carry? Is it really serving you, or are you really are you ready to let it go, right? And are we ready to just like do whatever it is that we want to do, not the roles that other people expect of us, right? And it's really hard to get out of those roles, especially when you are still surrounding yourself with the same people. I found with my family, especially my parents, because I have two younger sisters, and I was going to say we're all single. We're not. My youngest sister has a partner, but he does not come home with her all the time. I find that when we all get together and we are with my parents, like I noticed this quite a bit over Christmas and stuff, that my parents still play the parent role and treat us almost like um, how it was when we lived there with them, right? Like they still see me, I guess, like even though I have like two children who are adults, like they still resonate with the whole like teenager thing where it's they're thinking that they still need a parent. For the longest time, my dad would still tell me that I need to help my mom with dishes. And I was like, I am a divorced woman with two children, and you're still gonna tell me to do the dishes because I'm the oldest daughter. And I actually had to have a conversation about that. So it doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, like it's just things like that in your life. It's like you're surrounding yourself with the same people, and they're still putting you that in that role that you're trying to break free from, right? And that takes a lot of strength. That sometimes takes conversations, courageous conversations, and sometimes that takes not associating with those people anymore, right? I hung out with a lot of well, I shouldn't say I hung out with a lot of my friends, but some of my friends that I don't hang around with anymore, or I've changed the location that we hang out in because they only see me as one way, right? They only saw me as the fun friend that likes to go to the bar and drink and have fun and party and dance and all of the things, right? And I don't want to show up in that role anymore. So it's really hard. You either have to shift that friendship, have that conversation, or let go of that friendship, right? Because if it's like kind of keeping you stuck, in a certain role, then, you know, a decision has to be made. And sometimes that is like letting go of those connections, which is really interesting because it's 2:22 on my clock right now. And that twos are all about partnerships and connections. And all, like, that doesn't just mean like romantic relationships, that's all relationships, right? And the most important relationship that we have is with ourselves, and that's why we need to get honest with ourselves. I'm sorry, my puppy is barking at somebody else right now. We're just real life around here, okay? So trying to be as authentic as possible, and sometimes that means that there's puppies barking in the background and running in and out of the house. So if that bothers you, I guess maybe I'm just not the podcast for you, and that is okay. But that's why I'm showing up here authentically, is because to show other people that it's totally safe to be authentic to yourself, and you don't have to be perfect. We live in a society where social media shows us only the perfect aspects of people. That is all. The perfect aspects. I actually just had this conversation with my daughter last night because they did a project, her and her friends, about how social media influences young girls nowadays. And it does, very much so. Like, people only show their best selves on social media usually. I kudos to those who are totally show up messy and authentic and all the things, because do you know what? I've said before, the divine feminine is kind of messy sometimes, and that's okay. That is okay. It's okay to be messy. We don't have to be perfect all of the time, right? And I've talked about this in one of my other podcasts too. Like, and I'm grateful that these young girls are also noticing that. I'm grateful that the schools are starting to talk about that, right? And how important it is that we, yeah, we know that all of these filters and these AI and all the things, as a hairstylist, oh my God, I don't get me wrong, I use AI for some things, and I think that it can be a wonderful tool. Okay. Ever, when somebody brings me a picture of an AI and wants hair like them, Lord help me, I am about ready to flip a lid. I am not gonna lie, because that is like unachievable. That is like, some of the pictures people brought us before were unachievable, but it's getting worse now. It's like, I cannot cut their head off and stick it on you, right? Like, so I'm grateful that we're seeing now that uh that we can show up messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think people are craving more authenticity and less perfection. To be honest with you, like, it's more um like relatable. It's more relatable because it's like, wow, yeah, like, she does not have her shit together and neither do I. And like, thank goodness. Because it literally makes people feel like they're failing. Like, I have been that person where I'm like, I am obviously failing because like this person has all this going on and I don't, right? But like, everybody's journey is different and everybody has their own journey, from what I have learned, right? Like, at 43 years old, I really thought that I would be further along in my life. And I have achieved a lot of things. And when I recapped 2025, I saw that I had achieved a lot of amazing things, even though it didn't feel like it at the time, right? And to just know that everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's timing is different. And like I said, I thought I would be somewhere further along in my life than I am now. But I'm very grateful for the time that I got to spend with my girls. Because if I hadn't worked from home as a hairstylist, I would not have been able to do all the things that I got to do with them. And yeah, we sacrificed some things for it, but I will never, ever feel guilty for sacrificing time. Like, those things to have time with my kids, to be at home with them every day, to be a part of their friend group and all of the things. And so when you can take a step back and look at things from a different perspective and find like the gratitude in it, it really does shift and change your perspective and the way you feel like about things. And people reinvent their lives all the time. There's people who decide at 60 that they want to like uproot and change their life. And I think that is like totally okay, because we came here to live these lives. We came here to experience this life. And I think it's really just what it's about. I think is as society has shown us that we have just I lived it, where it was like I believed that I had to like graduate, get an education, find a partner, get married, have kids, and we all live happily ever after. And as everybody knows, my story did not go like that. Not up until like the happily ever after part. It just, I guess, happily ever after in a different way. Because everybody's happy is different, right? And I will never be sorry for my marriage, because it taught me a lot of things and it gave me two beautiful daughters, right? Even though the journey has been an interesting one, we have definitely closed the book on that. And that's what this is all about, is closing the book on what was. And not that we don't remember the things that happen, not that we're not grateful for the things that happen, and not that we're not bringing those lessons with us into this new book and this new adventure. And I do say a new book because we're entering like we're entering, we're in the age of Aquarius now, and it is completely different. Everything is much different now than it used to be, and it's taking some getting used to. And like I said, if you're feeling tired, if you're feeling run down, if you're all the things, then you need to take time out for you, and that is okay. Because on an energetic level, our bodies are needing time to rest so that we can operate in this new frequency, is what it is. It's really a new frequency, and that requires, when you hear lots of people saying, oh, I was getting sick and I had the flu and I had a cold and I had da 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 da, though that's your body like integrating and shifting and recalibrating its DNA structure and everything to upgrade to the, like, it's a purging out, right, to upgrade to this new frequency. And so that takes rest. So with that, before we wrap this up, I want to invite you into what I've been talking about, the sacred reset. And if what I talked about today really resonates with you, and if you are craving space to slow down, to exhale, to reconnect with yourself, you're not meant to do this alone. Okay. The Sacred Reset is my private community where women come to rest, release, and realign. It's a sacred pause from the noise, the pressure, and the constant doing. Inside, you'll receive guided meditations, activations, live gatherings, and ongoing support to help you reset your nervous system, reconnect with your intuition, and come back home to yourself again and again. This isn't about fixing yourself, it's about remembering who you are beneath it all. And if your body just said yes while listening today, trust that. You can join us inside the secret this is a secret. The sacred, it is kind of secret. It's a private group. The Sacred Reset. And I'm going to post the link for that in the show notes, because I would really love to be able to hold space for you there. So once again, thank you so much for joining me today. And I really appreciate you being here. And I would love for you to like, share, and subscribe so that you receive notifications. And yeah, share it with a friend maybe that you think will resonate with this, or you think this might help on their journey as well. So I'm sending you so much love, and have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care.